Hello and welcome to another update video on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has not really moved much since yesterday. Bitcoin is trying, a moderate recovery, I would say, after reacting yesterday to our Fibonacci resistance area overnight, basically yesterday, and then coming down quite strongly. I mean, it reacted before, right? It reacted already last week. However, yesterday we had a fairly strong, you could say rejection and fairly strong move to the downside, which might be the beginning of this C wave. I explained that in detail yesterday. People get concerned that we could be in a bear market already. I mean, I can only say we explained it a lot of times, right? That technically speaking, we already have all the waves from an Elliott Wave point of view fulfilled to the upside. I mean, if we're sliding into a bear market, then Elliott Wave was right. It gave us that warning, right? That's all I can say. But like more than, I would say, 90% of general cycle indicators and seasonality would suggest that we are not done with this cycle yet. There are also another couple of, at least couple of scenarios which I'm tracking, which still allow for higher prices and also indicate that we could get another rally into Q4, or not necessarily into Q4, but in Q4. So that's very important to understand. I mean, if we look at the long-term chart, right, for Bitcoin, let's open that. Let's see, is it this one or the other one? I wanted to open the other one, sorry. So let's open the other long-term chart. I'm tracking a few long-term charts that you guys probably know. But here you can see we can already identify a 5-wave move up from the 2022 low. And it's the full 5-wave move, even all the way down into the microstructure. So that's why I said, look, if anybody wants to prepare for a potential bear market or a large correction, I mean, this is the place to do it, right? It's very, very important. What can I say? It's super important to do that because we are, at a point where Elliott Wave tells us the requirements for this rally are fulfilled, all right? So that, however, is different from getting confirmation. You will not get confirmation at the top. You will only get a warning. You will get a warning that risk is high on a macro level, and we talked about it many times. So if we're sliding into a bear market, Elliott Wave would be one of the few indicators that tell us that the bull market could have topped. Yeah? But we always have to align ourselves with price action. And while we see a correction from the top, it's only like 10% from the all-time high right now. Yeah, and those pullbacks have been normal in the past in bull markets, even, right? I mean, you see it even in bull market, even in this cycle, we had pullbacks 30%. 30%. 20%. I mean, 30% is normal, yeah. If we get a 30% pullback from the top, it would take us even slightly below the moving average here, which is the 55-week EMA. It's currently at 95K. But what I shared with you before in some of the videos is that this moving average, this exponential moving average, which is currently around 95K, is also where the 1-year moving average is currently located. And so they kind of align there around 95K. And I would say really only if we get a decisive break below this moving average, if we get a weekly close below it, that could be an indication that we have topped. Why do I say that? Because in recent, not only in recent months, in the last couple of years, this hasn't been the case. So we've been holding above it. There have been tests. In April, we touched it and we moved higher, but we have not seen any weekly close. In 2024, in August, we had a dip and not a weekly close. Down here we had, that was in the beginning, very much in the beginning, but then when the trend became a bit stronger, we actually had fairly good reactions to this EMA. So I'm just using that as an additional trend filter. So, I mean, what I want to highlight is, if we get below that one and also get a decisive break, I mean, that takes us closer to that 30% range, yeah, which is kind of, which had happened before in in this cycle. So it would be very deep already. I would really treat it as a warning. If the price breaks below 95K, that would be a strong warning that we are not in a bull market anymore, that a larger, probably multi-year correction cycle has started, okay? I think that is very important. So I would use that 95K level at the moment it is there. I mean, it will go up with the price. At the moment, the price is even holding above the 21-week EMA, highlighted here in purple. We've been holding above it, well, since April, right? This is kind of, something shifted in April, right? In April, we had, across the sector, some nice upside. Stock market as well. So breaking back below the 21, which is currently, by the way, around 109K, could kind of break that pattern, yeah? This is not based on Elliott Wave. I'm just telling you, like, a 10% move down is not enough to confirm a top has formed. Like, most, larger cycle indicators do not highlight the top is there, right? We're not overheated based on what we normally would expect. But Elliott Wave is a little bit more clever than those simplistic cycle indicators. It just tells us that structurally, what market sentiment is normally doing, at least one of the scenarios shows us that we might have formed a major top. Well, whether you believe that or not is a different question. Whether you want to act on that depends on your own risk profile and everything. I'm just not convinced yet, right? I need more evidence, because just simply based on, okay, we have one wave count complete, that's not enough, right? That's not enough. We have at least two scenarios that still point to higher prices, but the warning is there. The warning is there. But that's why we add seasonalities, and I can only tell you what cycles have done before, right? And I can only tell you what is normal in the bull market, and I can really only tell you, how seasonalities normally playing out. And there is a lot that's still indicating that we could get another rally in Q4. So just presenting you the data, guys. I'm just telling you what the data is normally saying. I would deviate from that, right, and confirm further that we have topped if we get a proper 5-wave move down. We haven't seen that yet. Not a 5-wave move down that breaks below support levels. I would need that. I would need 1, 2, 3, more than an ABC. I need 5 waves down. That would also take us below that 55-week EMA, and then a corrective rally would even be a short trade setup, okay? So I would need that. That could still be an AB, I have to say, and that's why I said before, for real confirmation, for anybody who wants, I mean, there's still no certainty, but it's clear then that any further upside scenario like this is invalidated. It would take a break below 74K. But that's far away. So again, that's the tricky part, right? What do you want to, do you really want to wait until we break below 74K before you act, before you take profits? Probably not, yeah? So that's why I think it is reasonable to watch for signals like a break below 95K, like a 5-wave move down, and then the corrective rally afterwards could even be an exit. But we'll talk about that further. For now, Bitcoin on the shorter time frame is still following the same pattern. Like yesterday, we have a moderate correction. Yesterday, I told you in the last video, we might get one more low in wave 3 here. Yeah. So again, quick reminder, this is the B wave that might have topped, and we could be on our way down. I'm not fully convinced that it will fill in all these patterns here, all these waves, but we track them, right? Essentially, the roadmap here is giving us support and resistance levels. That's what it's for. We haven't got that 5-wave move down. We need that. That one more low I mentioned happened actually overnight, but it might have just been part of an internal 4th wave bounce. So today, in my member update earlier today, I added resistance already, highlighted this already. Look, we have a resistance area here. This is the first micro resistance. So I can tell you that a break above it would be a first signal that something is shifting here. It would not, be a full change of the wave structure, but something is shifting then if we break above this initial resistance. It would be too high for this 4th wave, but really for a full confirmation that we have bottomed, for example, in white wave 2, which uses this support area and can take us higher to new highs, yeah, we need to hold 109,477. So with that, you have key support, which already we talked about yesterday anyway, 112,460, 111,000, 109,000. This is the support area. The invalidation point for the 1-2 setup is 107,300 $20. And in the orange scenario, yeah, we are currently testing resistance. So waiting to see if we can get 5 waves down. We don't have 5 down. I would need at least one more low for a 5-wave move. Better 2. That would be even clearer. Yeah. So 5 waves below 109,477 would be good confirmation that this B wave has topped. And then the corrective rally afterwards would confirm that further. Could even present a classic Elliott Wave short setup. Going higher from here will likely lead to a test of the green line, 116,230, and a break above it would invalidate the orange count as it is. So I'll keep you updated about that. That should give you all the relevant levels. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in additional updates, make sure to also follow us on X for additional updates, charts, news, and much more. You can find the link in the description and in the comment section. Sometimes updates are found here sooner. Sometimes I upload videos only here. So check it out. The link, as I said, is also in the comment section. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.